fuck your job. You get your job signed. He's hitting against the head.
Excuse me?
Yes.
The cat is so terrible.
Hey, I'm looking through the window and he's hitting my child against the head.
Look here. You won't come here and be a bully. Just leave us
Is that so?
You can't come here and be a bully.
Is that so?
Such a big man, being a bully.
I'm telling you to do something.
Just back off. I won't do anything.
So you're push lock him.
Kente mo tlogele. Ba tla thusa ba mo spec.
Then you fucking handle the fucking job. Doesn't that fucking matter?
Just kill his head.
Like that's not no.
There is no mountain higher than Swirl Mountain. No valley too low, no ocean too deep. No climb is met with greater adversity than the steep climb of Swirl Mountain. Most that attempt to climb are doomed to fail.
Defense attorney Gary Zarola has been indicted on rape charges. The 48-year-old is accused of sexually assaulting a 21-year-old after a night of drinking in January. Zarola was already facing rape charges involving another woman. Those accusations are from 2016.
Surviving Bottom-Shelf Brad, Case 14. America's most eligible bachelor to alleged serial rapist. The New York Post is reporting that attorney once on People magazine's most eligible bachelor list charged with rape. The article says, a Boston defense attorney once named as one of People magazine's most eligible bachelors has been charged with raping 2 women, prosecutors claim. Gary Zarola, who appeared in People magazine's 2001 list of America's top 50 bachelors, alongside the likes of actors Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, and Benicio del Toro, was arraigned on January 15th on charges of rape and breaking and entering with felony intent. As one of People magazine's America's Top 50 Bachelors, Gary Zarola was described as a lawyer, foster care advocate. He was 29 years old back in 2001, living in Boston, never married. It says that he attended Massachusetts Suffolk University and he earned a dual degree in law and public administration. The People magazine America's Top 50 Bachelor profile for Zarola says he set up his own law practice late August after nearly 2 years as a prosecutor. Since 1998, he had led One for the Kids, an annual fundraiser he established to benefit children in foster care, like he says he had been. In his own foreshadowing of things to come, Gary Zarola says in his People magazine profile, statistically speaking, I should be in debt or in jail because of the upbringing I had. I lived in more than a dozen foster homes from the age of 3, after his father left his mother with 7 children until age 15. He then found a permanent home with a couple he now considers his parents. Suffolk County District Attorney Rachel Rollins said, Zarola, who was already out on bail on previous rape allegations, met a woman at a gathering on January 11th and later accompanied her and a mutual acquaintance to her Boston apartment. Zarola allegedly returned to the woman's apartment where she awoke to the attorney sexually assaulting her early on January 12th. Prosecutors said that even though he was a criminal defense attorney, he's currently being accused of breaking into this woman's apartment and having sex with her against her will. The irony of this. Zarola was ordered to remain in custody during a dangerousness hearing Thursday, the Boston Globe reported. Rollins said the accusations against Zarola, who previously worked as an assistant district attorney in Essex County for 1 year and Suffolk County for 2 months in 2000, were deeply troubling and noted the incident allegedly took place as he faced previous rape allegations. Zarola had been free on $10,000 bail for allegedly raping another woman back in 2016. He has pleaded not guilty in the Suffolk County Superior Court case, the Globe reported. Prosecutors said 2 additional women have since claimed Zarola also raped them in the 1990s, and he's been acquitted in separate rape and attempted rape cases in Massachusetts. A prior sex assault case against Zarola was also dropped in Florida, the Globe reported. The court agreed with our position that Mr. Zarola is a danger to the community, Rollins said in a statement. He has a history of rape allegations dating back to 1996. A not guilty plea was entered on Zarola's behalf during his arraignment last week. Zarola's attorney declined to comment Thursday, it was reported. In 2001, Zarola, then 29, was featured in People magazine as a lawyer and foster care advocate who set up his own law practice following nearly 2 years as a Massachusetts prosecutor. Zarola noted his challenging childhood in an interview, saying he lived in more than 12 foster care homes from age 3 through 15. Statistically speaking, I should be in debt or in jail because of the upbringing I had, Zarola told People magazine at the time. Now here we are in 2021, and it looks like he's going to be in both debt and jail. Prosecutors also said that in the current case, the woman and Zarola had met once before that night. Prosecutors said, and the lawyer drove her home because she was feeling sickly from the alcohol and an illness. But she allegedly woke up later and found attorney Zarola had entered her apartment without her permission and was having sex with her against her will. In its memo in support of pretrial detention, prosecutors referred to prior allegations and stated, while most of the women did not report the crime immediately to police, and the 2 victims from the 1990s came forward only after hearing that Zarola was arrested in the present case while already out on bail for a rape indictment. Each of them described disclosing the events to someone at the time. The report goes on to say that in 2016, Zarola was again charged in Massachusetts with 2 counts of rape, which his attorney said were based upon a foundation of lies, and we vigorously look forward to our day in court. He had posted $10,000 bail in that case and was still awaiting trial. His lawyer, Joseph Krowski Jr., said last week that there is little to the new allegations presented by prosecutors as well. Something that the current victim said to the news that stood out in my mind was that attorney Zarola had drawn on his experience as both a criminal defense attorney and a rape defendant to avoid different criminal consequences. Now, when we look at the FBI's profile of a rapist, and specifically a serial rapist, there are some traits alleged against Zarola that stand out. The FBI says that victims of serial rapists can number between 2 or even more than 100. Some of the traits that they describe of the serial rapists are, more often than not, they come from average to above average middle class homes, which is somewhat surprising to anyone that does research on serial rapists. FBI profilers go on to say that the serial rapist is typically well-groomed, intelligent, employed, and often living with others within a family context. A significant number of serial rapists had also been institutionalized at some point in their childhood. Most rapists choose victims based on general proximity, availability of women, and access to their residencies. Massachusetts law says that rape is sexual intercourse or unnatural intercourse by a person with another person who is compelled to submit by force and against his or her will by threat of bodily injury. This sort of criminal charge is punishable by up to 20 years in state prison. A second or subsequent conviction for this offense carries up to life in prison. On the breaking and entering with felony intent charge, a conviction of that crime is punishable by up to 20 years in state prison. But to be convicted, one has to commit a crime at nighttime, break into a building, ship, or vessel or vehicle belonging to another person, enter into a building, ship, vessel, or vehicle belonging to another person, and have intent to commit a felony. So I'll pose the question to the audience. Do you believe that Gary Zarola will be found guilty of rape and breaking and entering with felony intent? Or do you believe his status as a white value man will give him another get out of jail free card? And my final question would be, would a black male attorney with a history of rape charges across several states have been hired and rehired with such ease in any court or with any firm in the United States of America? I'll wait.